Hi friends, welcome back to my channel Testing Mini Bytes. I am your friend Amazon Shaktivel. In this video, we're going to create an end-to-end web test following all the good page layer management principles. Okay, we're going to use composition, we're going to use dynamic locator strategy, and we'll try to create very robust page layers, right? And also we'll create a very good test which can be driven from your data provider. Without wasting much time, let me switch to the IntelliJ and so if you notice here, I have renamed this test to add user test so that it really conveys what we are doing. And the test method name I have given it as test add users for now. Yeah, it can be refactored later if you want a better name, or we can also use the description from the test engine annotation to give a very detailed description. But for now, we need to create page layers. So basically for the login page, I have already gone ahead and created this. And let's go to the Chrome and here we have the orange HRM here. And yeah, the login page is already done, but we will also have to manage this home page. But for the login page, I need to tell like how quickly I will normally create the page methods. Like those are very really important. I could have created the methods by myself, but you also need to know how I create them very quickly instead of spending a lot of time here, right? And these are the locators here, right? So what I normally do is I use control and enter, and I use setup methods, and here I have created a new template called page object. I'll give you the syntax for this. This is a syntax. You can also go ahead and click on this add button and you can basically copy paste this syntax. I leave this in the description, or I leave it in a Google Drive link so that you can also copy paste this, and then you can use this to basically create quick page objects methods. So if you notice, it have created for me the set username text box, set password text box, set login button. Basically, whatever the name you have, it automatically adds set method before it, and then it also returns this, which means you can do the method chaining, right? So that comes very easy now. So this is very easy now, right? So also, I'm not a big fan of having them as non-static. Many people will have them as non-static, but I prefer to have this as static. The reason being, let's say if you are running 100 threads in parallel, okay, you might have 100 objects, and these 100 objects into number of the fields. So there will be a lot of fields, in your object space, right? I don't want to have something like that, so I'll use a static one. Yes, static one means the variables will be for whole program. Since this is not a development, our server is not going to run for a very long time. It is going to run for like 10 minutes or 20 minutes or 30 minutes, that the total the test execution time. So Java is very smart enough to handle that. I am building systems or test automation framework so that I can run 100 tests in parallel. For that, I prefer using static, because this property, whatever this is, not going to get changed for different objects, right? For all the objects, this property going to remain the same. So it makes absolute sense for me to keep them static. And also, this is almost final, right? This is final. Nobody is going to change this after this. So it also makes me feel like I have to add final here. Like once you have a private static final, you have to follow a different naming convention. So you can basically use something like, uh, you know, right, username text box. So that's the convention how you should follow. Again, I also want to edit this, so there is a shortcut. You can press like this, and then you can edit in multiple places at the same time. For this, I'll do the refactoring, and I'll limit it as password text box, and this is again login button, right? Again, guys, you can name it as text box username or password text box password, but it's up to you. But login button is more readable than button login. So yeah, anyway, whatever you prefer, you can use that. And here for this one, for setting up the username text box, I need a username, right? So I can pass string username, right? And all I can do is username text box dot, right, send keys. So this is basically by, right? And so you have to basically find the element and then do it. So for that, you can basically create a new page actions helpers, so that you can put all your click method and send keys inside that. So basically we can go ahead and start creating this page actions helper, so that we can reuse them, in multiple places. So what I can do, I can go here and basically I can create a new class with a package called utils, and the class name may be a page actions helper, or just page actions, yeah, whatever, page action utils, uh, Selenium utils, whatever the name you feel very comfortable, you can use that. And I will basically make it as page actions helper, because all these methods are going to be static, because uh, you know these are utility methods, right? So basically it makes complete sense for me to keep it as static, because I take reference from math class. Let's say I use math.add. Add is a function that is static because everyone knows what it does. Same way, I'm going to have some functions like public static void wait and click, right? Something like this. So this is a click method where basically I'm going to accept a by type, and right, and also I'm going to do driver manager dot get driver dot find elements, right? And whatever the by that I get, I want to do a click after that, right? So basically this is very, very simple now, but we will try to add more functionality to this. And there are other ways, like we can optimize, let's say if you want to pass the wait strategy here, how we can use annotations to handle this. Again, um, if you notice, I have used by type here. People normally use page factory. I'm not a big fan of page factory, though I'm not using it. I'm going to create a locator type here, where I can handle this even more effectively. I'll come to that, but at the later point where we see about refactoring. But for now, we will fix this, right? And for the send keys, instead of that, I also want the value to be sent, right? So I can basically find the element and I can do send keys for this value, right? So this is two reusable methods that I quickly created. And let's go to login page, and we can say uh, uh, page actions helper dot wait and send keys. uh, Basically in the username text box, I want to enter the username, right? And I do a static import so that it basically, you know adds a lot of readability here. And again, wait and send keys, take password, right? And then password, I need a password to be passed here, password, okay? And this is password. And here again, for this I don't need anything else. I just need to wait and click. But for now I'm not doing the waiting operation inside the click method, but I need to add the code for that. I'll keep it in mind, I'll refactor it, okay? So basically I need to click on login button, right? So as simple as that. Now what also makes sense is, instead of, in my test method, let's go here to the basically the test method I have. Now I can do a new login page, right? New login page dot set username. I can pass some values to this, and then I can do set password, right? And then can do some pass value, some, right? Set login button. I can do all these things, right? But if you notice, this is very minute level details, but as a end user, I'm not interested in seeing all these things. Let's say I also have to do click on admin, user management, users. Instead of all these things, what if I can just tell login and navigate to users, and then create new user? That's more readable, right? So I would prefer that way. So how can we do that, right? We can add a wrapper method. Let's say in this login page itself, what I'm going to do, okay, I'm going to create a method called as, let's say, this basically going to be white for now. So login to application, maybe the name, and I'm going to pass, right, login data. I'll basically, okay, for now let me keep it very simple for now. Username, string, password, right? And here I'm going to call set username, whatever the username that's coming, I'm going to pass that. Set password, I'm going to pass the password. Set login button, right? And also, if you notice, I can just call this, so I can hide these three methods, right? So basically I can put a multi-line selection like this. I can remove this public and I keep it as private, so that nobody can access this. They can just simply use login to application, right? And let's go here, and instead of all these things, you just say log into the application, you pass the username, you pass the password, right? Very, very simple for now. Again, we know how to optimize this two parameters into one. I'll come to that later, but for now this is fine. And for this login to application, once you log into the application, if it's directly returning a home page, it will be easy for us to do the chaining. So what I'm going to do, instead of the set login button returning a current class instance, I'll return a home page, right? Return home page. But we don't have a home page yet, so we can basically go ahead and create a home page, right? Yes, done. It does not extend login page. It's just a home page. That's it. And here I will set this to return a home page, right? Now, this home page is very, very important. The way how you are going to handle this tells your quality of like how much experience you have in your automation. Let's say normally what people do, they see a very big screen here, right? So they will create everything here, everything in the home page. So all these elements, like at least 100 elements they will create here. They'll create 100 different methods. Very, very confusing. This is not good. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to separate this page into different page fragments or page components or smaller pages, right? So I'm going to assume this top menu here, whatever is here in the highlighted area, I'm going to maybe I'll use annotations. Okay, I cannot find it. That's fine. So the top layer, the orange HRM label here, the admin, the menu bars here, the marketplace, the welcome form, I'm going to keep all these as one top menu component or top menu page fragment, right? It's up to you. Even if you want to separately use this and separately use this section alone, and then there is logout and this particular section you want to keep it as different pages, yeah, you can do it, but it will increase the let's say we don't have the need, right? So I prefer doing the whole thing as top menu component, and these components can be varied. Okay, so this is maybe a system users component, this can be users list users component, so we can basically split them into multiple pages. Okay, so at the end of the day, this home page consists of a top menu component. Okay, so let's go here and put this home page consists of top menu component. Okay, and then top menu component. Okay, this consists of this, and inside the pages I go here and I create a package first called as page components, right? Page components dot top menu component. Again, this is inside a home page, right? So these are all, this top menu component is part of home page, so it also makes sense for me to keep a folder like this. Okay, so if you notice, we have page components, but inside page components there can be multiple pages containing multiple components, but home page contains top menu components. It's very, very easy. You're able to store it properly so that it's easy, right? Tomorrow, if there is one more page, let's say payment page contains another component, you can create different folder called page components dot payment page dot and whatever the component, the credit card component, right? So it will be easy for you to manage these page layers really well. So in this top menu component, it has multiple elements, right? If you use page factory, the problem is you cannot make it as a dynamic, so you end up creating 3, 6, 9 and 11 different menu elements or web elements, right? That's something I don't like. So what I can also do is basically you can use dynamic locator strategy here, or you can find a common web element, common way to identify this. For example, all this may be coming under ID of this, right? But yeah, maybe we'll go for the dynamic locator strategy, which is much easier, right? So if you notice, it is having the text. So it is basically B with a text of admin, right? Instead of admin, okay, admin, and yeah, I also want to find the parent. So clicking on a B tag is not that good. So I'll find the parent tag. Okay. So admin tag, you can click on it. Sometimes the click will work, sometimes it won't work. So I normally prefer to click on A tag or the button tag. So this is the XPath that I got. So let me copy this and go here and create, let's say private static final. This is basically menu uh, equal to, this is of type string, right? So final string, and this is the value. And instead of this admin, if I put different values, it will change, right? So instead of admin, if I put pim, it'll basically click on this. So instead of all that, I put %s, which is like a wildcard. I can use string.format method to basically construct the XPath at the runtime. So this is the main. What I can also do, I can create my method. Let's say public. For now, I'll keep it as void. Click a menu item. Okay, this menu item I'm going to click and string a menu name. Okay, and if somebody is going to pass me this, I'm basically going to do string dot format, and whatever the menu I have and whatever the menu name they're going to pass, I'm going to construct a string out of this. And this is basically the new XPath that we are looking for. And after this, you can basically do wait and page actions helper dot wait and click, and I want to click by dot XPath. The XPath is this. Yeah, so I want to click on. So now this is very simple. You just create only one field and then you are handling different elements, right? There is one problem here. Let's go and check. Okay, I'll import the class here. That's all good now. Let's go to the top menu component. Looks fine, but the problem here is sometimes it's very hard for someone to, let's say this admin, everything, some is capital letters, so this pim is fully capital letters. Here other things are a little different, right? So we don't know exactly whether they will pass this exact string. Let's say instead of capital pim, they are passing pim like this, it won't work. So we don't want the failures like this to happen. So it is always makes sense to create a enum type for this, so that if tomorrow they are going to add one more menu or remove one more menu, the managing going to be very easy. So that's what we're going to do inside pages, right? And this is the enum, right? So it makes complete sense for me to basically create a new class, and this is basically an enum, right? So enum or dot, this is also home page, right? So home page and dot home, sorry, this is menu item type. Okay, there can be a lot of menu, so but or menu type, simply menu type, right? And this is a part of home page, or you can put top menu component dot menu type. That makes even more sense, right? Top menu component, it's all about managing this well, right? So good and good. Now in this menu type, you can mention this, right? If it is admin, you can give the spelling correctly, right? This is admin, you can mention admin, right? Same way you can mention for everything, and then we will pass this, we will try to get this string value by creating a get name method, right? To save some time, I will pass. So basically here I don't want to add all these 10 components because all of them are same, and my intention is to design the framework, but in real time you would create all these elements here. Let's say admin, pim, leave, time, I have added just 4, and admin, the text, I have used the exact text here. Pim, capital pim, I'm also using something like this because all the enums have to be uppercase, but the string you can use whatever the values you want, right? And I have an overloaded constructor here that is accepting what are the values like this and then setting to this. So whenever you are calling the get name method, we are basically giving you this. So in your test, you can basically go to top menu component. Instead of accepting this as a string, you can basically get this as menu type. Okay, and this is basically menu type. Okay, and here you can just say menu type dot get name, which basically brings you that. Okay, so let's go to the test now. So this is the test, and here after logging to the application, I'm focusing on the home page, right? So let's go to the home page. Home page is just having this. So when somebody do home page, what I can do is this dot top menu component equal to new top menu component. Okay, I'll keep it as a private one, and if somebody wants to access this, I will basically uh, expose a getter, and yes, right. And let me cut this and move here so that it's much readable. So let's go to the test, and I can say uh, log into the application, and then in the home page uh, I should basically access this, right? Why I'm not accessing it? So log into the application is basically should return me home page. If it is returning me a home page, I can directly do get top menu component, and then here I want to click on a menu item. Here I can give menu item dot admin. So now there is no chance of I make a mistake here, but you are still clicking on the admin button. So once you're done with this, let's go here, and after that you also have to use or click on the submenu items, that is user management and users, right? So for this also we can create a submenu item type, right? So let's go here and quickly create basically an enum of submenu type. Okay, so again you can split them into multiple things, but I'll keep everything, all the submenus, even the level inside it as a submenu. That's it. Okay, I'm not going to worry on details about it. Let's go here and click on inspect, and if you notice this is just an text with the a tag. So this is just a tag with a tag. Okay, we don't need to find the parent now. Can simply say this as percentage yes. So this is the uh, XPath that's going to fetch me a lot of values. So I'll go here. Um, I'll basically duplicate this, and this is basically sub underscore menu, and this is the XPath that I'm going to use. And let's remove all these things, we don't need them. Okay, and to click on the sub menu, maybe I'll copy paste the same thing, and I'll say click sub menu item. This is not menu type, this is going to be sub menu type and sub menu type, and this is also going to be sub menu type. So though we haven't created components here, so we'll go ahead and create it, but for now very simple. This is user management, right? So user underscore management. Okay, and this has to have the string of something like this, right? Inspect, copy this, exactly this particular text, right? And let's add one more. This is, let's say, users. Let's also copy this, and yeah, this is basically users. Yeah, and you can add, go ahead and add multiple things. For now, I'll also copy paste this whole thing here, copy it, go to sub menu type and paste it here. Here, instead of menu type, it should be sub menu type. All the errors are now gone. You can go and start adding more tests. After this, I want to click. Okay, this basically returning a void, right? Instead of this, if it is returning top menu component itself, I can do the chaining now very easily, right? Return this. Let's go there, and then I say click submenu item, and the submenu type dot user management, and also I go here, I change this to top menu component, I do return this. This is just for chaining, right? So that it increase the readability, right? Let's go here, and after that I want to click on submenu item, submenu type dot users. Again, guys, what you can also do is, if you're not interested in all these things, inside the home page you can create a method called as navigate to users. That's it, navigate to user page, and you wrap all these information inside that, so that this becomes very, very clean. Okay, maybe I'll do that. So let's go here to the home page. This home page doesn't have anything now, so what I can do is public white navigate to add users page, right? As simple as that. In here I can just say all these things, copy it, and then you paste it here. Again, you need top menu component, right? Top menu component. Yeah, so this top menu component is available here, so you don't have to call this there. Let's remove this. Now this is much easy. Navigate to users page, right? It's up to you, like how much detail you want to give it in the test, but I prefer writing like this so that you take remove a lot of noisy code here. So this is what I'm interested, right? Log into the application, navigate to add users page. Once I do that, inside this, after clicking on this, basically I need to get the user page, right? So return return new add users page, and here I go ahead and create a new class inside pages. That's absolutely right. Yes, add users page. So this is the add users page, right? We can call this whole thing as add users page, and maybe this is the button that we are looking for. Again, you can create this as a separate component, like this can be a new component. Let's say this is users component, this is search component, and then you can manage the things much better here. So let's also do that. This add users page has search component, which we are not going to touch, but we will still create a component there, a search component, and then we also have users component. I'll just put it as add user component. This should have been created as like users component, and then this user components consist of add and delete user component, and then this particular thing. But for now, due to time reasons, I will just create this whole thing as add users component. Okay, just to add some time. Okay, and it also makes complete sense for me. Keep them as private and final. Basically, I need to create these components. Let's create it inside pages. I want to create inside page components dot. This is not inside home page, right? This is basically inside add users page. Okay, and let's click on OK. Okay, so if you go here to the page components, now we have a new folder. Inside that we have search component, and let's go here and also, yeah, we will do that. Maybe I remove this for now. Add user component, create. Yeah, so inside page component we want to create inside add users page. That's fine, add it. Good. So here I'm going to add button and delete button. Again, guys, you can split this using XPath and all that, but this is just two elements. You can basically create it private. This is by type, basically add button, and here you can say by dot. I don't know whether it has a unique XPath, unique ID, but yeah, it has an ID called button add, so you can use that by dot ID. Say button add. For now, I'm not interested in the other one, so basically I'll ignore that. I'll create a setter method using page object, and here page action helper dot wait and click add button. That's it. It's all good, and it also makes complete sense for me to keep it as static and final. If that's the case, I'm going to put it as add button. Okay, good. Now let's go to the add users page. This is fine. Let me expose some getter methods for both the components, but I'm not using the search component now, so I just use for the add users component. Let's go here. So basically it is asking cannot return a value from a method which is of y type, so return this. Okay, don't worry about it. So here, and we'll create a public constructor, public constructor add users page, and this add users page basically going to do this dot add user component equal to add user comp new add user component. Okay, same way this dot search component equal to new search component. Okay, again guys, we can do dependency injection and all that, but yeah, but for now it is suggesting something. Yeah, search component is final. This is final as well. Private is but never accessed by, I know that because we are not using the search component now, but yeah, all good now. So let's go to the test again. Over here, navigate to add users page, get as add user component, and then set add button. Once we set the add button, what we want to do is basically after this I want to basically click on this. This is the add user page, right? So this is not a component. We can put it inside add users page. Here itself we can add a method like all these things, the user role, employee name, or basically this is, you can keep it as a component here. Yeah, so basically I did a mistake. So what I can do, this is, we can create this as a different page. Instead of, like, we can name it as a systems users page, because this is more like an add users page, right? So yeah, we can do that changes. Okay, maybe I'll do the changes now offline, because you know what we need to do. Yeah, so here I have renamed this as system users component, system users page, instead of the add user page that we have before. So now after clicking this add button, we are navigated to this is, maybe we can call it as user detail component. Okay, or user details page, which makes more sense, right? So after clicking on the add button, it should basically return me user detail page, or we can just put everything inside the add user component. That makes complete sense, because this add button is very very small, right? So for this time being, I'm not creating a new component for this, so I'll put it inside this itself. Okay, so let's click on add, and here I have to enter all these fields. I need to find username and like I need to find export for all these, and after that we need to create a test data accordingly, and we need to handle this in a much neater way. So I'll tell you how we can handle test data. Like, we want to pass different set of test data, how we can use fixture factory to do this, how we can make our code much neater. Like, if you notice the code already, this is very very clean, right? We are logging to the application, navigating to the add users page, we're getting the component, we are setting that button. Again guys, this is again a minute information, so we will again create a public method. We'll make them as private, we'll hide all this information, and we'll just say add new users. That add new user, that's it. Once you add the new user, we will verify whether the success message is displayed. Our test will be much clean. Even if you notice the components we have created are very easy to manage, right? You don't need a lot of elements here. Absolutely the best way to do this, right? So we have home page that contains top menu component that handles a lot of things here. Again, there is a mistake that I could have replaced this as sub menu. This is the problem with the copy pasting that happens. Yeah, when we do the dry run, we can fix if there are any issues. But for now, the page layers look really clean. And if you have much better way of doing this, you can also leave that in the comment section. I'll definitely have a look at it. Thank you guys. I will see you guys in the next video, where we will work on these things, right? Because it takes time for me to find the XPath locators, put it there. So I'll do it offline, I'll come back and do the whole stuff, right? The data management, how we can pass the data around. All these things will be covered in the next video, so don't miss it. See you guys in another video. Tada, bye.